Yeah, like a tool segment. We tell people like these are the tools that we found to be successful, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah,
you can implement these. So that would be nice to have little nuggets to drop so
yeah,
folks can really apply it like
yeah,
applicable tools,
yes,
because that definitely gonna help me even now.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm still a sponge. I'm learning every single day what
We
it's
are
gonna take
we
to make this
iron
thing work.
sharpens iron, and the thing when you stop learning, you might as well die.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
if you can't
that's
learn
it.
no more, you can't be taught nothing. You can't
That's
be
it.
told nothing.
Yeah, that's considered in the Bible. I believe it calls them a fool. Those that are not willing to learn, those who are not willing to
Yeah,
accept advice
yeah.
or input or constructive criticism.
Mhm.
That's sometimes it might be hurtful, but what comes is normally to help,
Yeah, yeah.
not
Those who reject
detrimental.
wisdom are called fools.
Come
Proverbs.
on.
So we
But
have we have
we ain't
two
calling
more.
nobody fools. We just saying this,
I can't call nobody no names, but I'm just
Nah,
talking
nah.
about who I'm talking about.
Behaviors.
All right, clean space. So a lot of people have a problem with clean space, I think, because you have either, I've never seen it in the middle. And I'm always like, in my marriage, it's always so funny because we switch roles on clean, right?
Yes.
And there's the clean freak, and then there's the total slob. Right?
There's no
It's not
middle.
always in the middle. And so, what is a clean space? Because sometimes it's not necessarily that things are put in their place, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's about, is this is is this a space where I can be washed and made clean? Is
Mm.
this a space where I can let go, right? Is this a
Mm.
space where I can expect goodness? I can expect wholesome, right? It's a fresh start in this space. And I'm not, when I come in this space, I'm not going to have to be judged. I'm not going to have to
Wow.
remember, the last fight we had that, we apologized about, we reconciled, but now we back on it because it's still tainted. It's still toxic.
Mm.
Fresh start space.
Wow.
And yeah, like also just, thinking about you saying you had to clean up, because something more was coming in. Is it a space that will allow for more,
Mhm.
and is it a space that when you have more, that more fits? Will that more mess up your, what you already have? You get fresh white carpets, right? And then it rains outside. You just clean those carpets. You want it more, but here they come with the muddy boots.
Mhm.
Is that space ready for what's coming in?
Mhm.
Protect that space, but that's in the next one. But is that space ready for something new?
Wow.
Because they say, you can't put new wine in old wine skins.
That's right.
Is your space clean enough for the new thing? So I wonder if we can talk about what that means for people that are in a marriage and they're just not vibing. They are not,
Mm.
every time they talk is something. Every time you talk to them is something, and you could just see the misery.
Mm. As you were speaking, I couldn't help but to. It was like bing, 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 bing. That clean space is sometimes I've found that there are moments when you don't know how important it is to curve your words sometimes.
Yeah.
And when you think about a clean space, communication is huge in any relationship. And if you don't know how to cleanly talk, communicate with your spouse or anyone in a relationship, it can make the space very unclean quick, because you don't know how to curve your words. You don't know how to just stop. You defile the air by what comes out of you. And I've found myself in positions and predicaments, and even myself, I had to really learn how powerful words are. And when it's a clean space, like the Bible says that the devil's walking to and fro seeking whom he may devour, and he's going back to the space that's been cleaned. He's looking for a way to defile that space, right? So we have to make sure that once we've cleaned the space up with our foul mouth, or not knowing how to just curb your words, understanding that your words is power, that when you create the clean space, you have to keep it clean. You have to maintain it. You absolutely have to protect that space, because the enemy is trying to find a way into the clean space. And the clean space, like you said, is not necessarily, I don't feel like it's necessarily just cleaning up your house, making sure that that's straight. No, it's making sure that you know how to talk to one another. You know how to look at one another and respect one another's space, making sure that you're actually creating and making a safe haven for the people that you're inviting into your space. Because if your space is cluttered and junky and messy with anger, bitterness, you don't know how to talk to nobody, you got a foul mouth all the time, you don't know how to just stop talking, you don't know how to just walk away from an argument, you don't know how to just put your dukes down, you don't know how to let the walls fall, you don't know how to just be quiet sometimes, that's a foul environment. And there's nothing about it that screams clean or safe, or a place where someone can come to you and lay on your chest and just let loose. Like, if that's not the environment that you have, you might want to go back to the drawing board and reconsider if being in a relationship is even safe. Nobody wants to come into an environment that's not safe. The first thing you look for is safety. The first thing you look for as a woman is, can this person protect me? Can this person keep me safe? You don't run to danger and then look for safety. No, you run to safety first, because there is danger out here. There is danger. There's in pursuit of you, there's danger, there's hurt, there's pain, but you look for safety. And the only way you can find safety is if there's a clean environment. A clean environment shines, it twinkles. There's something about it that attracts you. But a foul and toxic space, that'll keep me running.
Ooh. And you can't grow in a foul space. You can't grow. You can't love in a foul space.
I mean, that's like a flower. I mean, if you preparing a garden, you got to pick all the weeds, all the roots, all of that stuff out. You got to clean it out.
Yeah.
You have to make space.
Yeah.
For the new seeds that you about to plant in that space. Because if you plant it on top of the weeds and all the others, it's going to choke out the seed and it's not going to grow.
Yeah.
You can't invite somebody into your choked out environment.
Yeah.
It's like the smoke is so thick, I can't even breathe. Nobody wants to come in that. I wouldn't want to be. Smoke is the one thing, secondhand smoke is the one thing that would kill, right? So if your environment smells of smoke and is so cluttered with all your drama, your toxic behavior, I don't want to come in that. Seeds can't grow in a piece of soil that's full of weeds and thorns. It can't grow. It's gonna die out.
Girl. Because I'm getting triggered and I'm getting flashbacks. My husband and I grew up in environments like that. And we one of the things we said when we first got together is we won't be that way. We won't do this. We won't do this, and this. We're not going to say these things. We're not going to fight like this. We're not going to create this space for our children.
Yep.
And
that takes work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking about what it was like living in that space. You know, people who have children and they're always at odds. There's, you know, whether it's domestic abuse or whether it's just disagreements all the time or yelling and screaming or just, you know, when that space is not safe for you as a spouse, imagine if it's not, how can it be safe for your children?
Jesus.
And how is it safe for anybody that comes over to visit? Because at any moment, something can pop off. At any moment, we could go from 0 to 100. Like, what is that?
Yeah, yeah. What is that? That's dysfunction.
That's dysfunction.
And that's I saw that growing up as well. It was a generational curse that followed so many of my family members. I watched people, you know, in the same family, living in the same projects, grandma down the street, auntie on the corner, cousin on the next block, mama on the next block. And we were all in this same community. And the community, it just thrived off the drama. It thrived off of dysfunction and division and motherless children and fathers not present. It thrived in that environment. But my question was, how could this be possible? It had to be something better.
Yeah.
And I had to figure out how to create a space that didn't resemble what I came from.
Yeah.
And it was only by me making a determination to say, hey, I don't have to be like what I came from. I don't have to look like what I saw. I don't have to be a replica of that.
Yeah.
And breaking that generational curse took some work, but it was worth it at the end because my kids never experienced the things that I did.
Because you created a clean space.
There you go. There you go.
You had a clean slate. You started fresh. You gave them a clean slate.
Yeah. I gave them what I did not have.
Yeah.
And I remember vowing to myself, like, all right, my first child, I'm not going to drop my kids off for anybody else to keep them. I was 17 years old, working 3 jobs, trying to finish school. I worked, I kept that boy. And I made sure to not drop him off and leave him for weeks at a time. Every day, my son was with me. And I prided myself on that because I remember looking out the window, praying my mom would come back. I'm going to work and I don't see her for 3-4 weeks. And I did not want to repeat that with what I had, because I had determined and I decided in my mind, like, no, I'm going to create something totally opposite of what I had seen. Not having a blueprint, not having a roadmap, just knowing that, hey, I want a clean environment for my kids to thrive. Being the only child, I created a space where I didn't have to, I was awkward anyway. So I was a little bit isolated, didn't have many friends anyhow. But in that, I was able to like imagine myself outside of the environment I was coming up in. And being able to imagine that clean space helped me create that clean space. So it's imperative that, like the Bible says, we come as one of these little ones. That imagination piece, we can never lose it, because that imagination piece could help you create what you've never seen.
That imagination is creation power.
Yes.
If you can imagine it, you can make it. You can
That's
do
right.
it.
You can be it.